I hope everyone is having a good day today. How's everyone doing?
Oh, good. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I see the numbers are
Lovely.
going up. People are coming in. Just give them a minute or two so that they log in.
Not a problem.
All right, perfect. So I think we can start now, and then those that are not here can join us along the way. Hi, Zin.
Hey Sam, hey Sam, how you doing? I'm just
I'm
trying to
great,
share my
thanks.
if that's okay. There we go.
It's fine.
Good.
That's all right.
All right, is
All
my
right.
screen sharing?
Yes, yes, it's sharing. All
All right,
right,
all right.
perfect. All right, hi everybody. My name is Samantha Mtadzwa. I am the business development executive here at 263 Hub. For those that don't know, it's a company that's based off in Harare, Zimbabwe. Over the past 10 years, Zimbabwe has been gaining a lot of traction with regards to outsourcing, be it in the BPO space, KPO space, as companies seek to optimize their costs, whilst obviously gaining access to educated, skilled, and experienced virtual assistants without compromising their quality, obviously. On the call, I have Kelly Barabbas. Kelly, can you please say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly Barabbas. I'm the Chief Growth Officer here at 263 Hub, and I'm excited to join Zen today and talk to you about virtual assistants.
Oh, perfect. Lovely. Thank you, Kelly. We also have Zen Stole. Zen, say hi.
Hey everybody, Zen or Kudzai, from Zim, working with 263 Hub for a couple of years now. And I think part of my journey, which I think Sam wanted me to touch on,
Mhm.
is that part of having a nation rich in talent, that force of skilled English proficient speaking professionals, it's allowing us to engage with the world. And our nation, Zimbabwe, is not just a destination, it's a catalyst for change, offering a unique blend of affordability, proficiency, and untapped potential. To me, this 263 hub and allowing people to gain education employment in the virtual assistant space is imperative and important to us. Yeah, I think that's about it. But nice to meet everybody.
Zen, can I ask a question? What does 263 Hub stand for?
I thought we're leaving questions till the end, but
Sorry, I'm still going to get you on that one.
no worries. No. So a lot of people do ask that question. 263 stands for the national code, the dialing code for Zimbabwe. America's +1, England is +44, Zimbabwe is +263. Part of us getting on the map is people recognizing and understanding that it is a area code that should be respected, that will be understood, and that the world will get to know and understand sooner rather than later. And obviously, the hub is a place where all the young people who are looking for opportunity can come to. So 263 being Zimbabwe, the hub being at one location, everyone can come there to find opportunities.
Thank you,
Oh,
Zen.
oh, thank you for that. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Kelly. Without wasting any time, we're going to dive right into the questions that we have for today. So, what is a virtual assistant?
Great question. So, for those who don't know, a virtual assistant in the BPO space is like, sorry, 1 second. Having a BPO in the BPO space is like having essentially a skilled helper right at your fingertip, but instead of being physically present, they work remotely. Think of them as your digital right-hand person, capable of handling administrative tasks, managing schedules, handling customer inquiries, and so much more without the need for office space or equipment. Is anyone in this webinar familiar with the show The Office? If you've seen The Office or even like The Office, there's a character called Dwight Schrute. Dwight Schrute is the embodiment of a virtual assistant except remote. So think of a Dwight Schrute except remote, and that is a virtual assistant. Thanks, Sam.
I think after this, everyone now has to actually watch The Office. Very entertaining series. So, who actually uses a VA?
You know, Sam, everyone can use a VA, but for the most part, what we've been selling VAs in is executives, C-suite, business owners are using VAs. We have a lot of our VAs are in medical offices, marketing agencies, accounting firms. So there really is no specific practical field, one more than the other, because you can pretty much use the VA in any area.
I see. So essentially anyone can get a VA if they're feeling overwhelmed. Perfect. Interesting. All right. So what is the difference between a proactive and a reactive virtual assistant?
Interesting. I'll take this one. Proactive virtual assistants take initiative by anticipating the needs and requirements of the user without waiting for direct instructions for every task. It's anticipatory, and the approach can significantly enhance productivity and efficiency, as it often leads to issues being resolved before they become problems and opportunities being seized in the right moments. So some people might ask, what does a VA look like, or what is not a VA, a proactive VA look like? The characteristics, essentially, they use data and patterns to anticipate needs. For example, reminding you, if you have a VA, they'll be able to remind you of an upcoming meeting based on your calendar, or suggesting you leave early for an appointment because of traffic conditions. They're very intuitive and initiative. They might suggest tasks that could improve efficiency, and they learn from previous interactions. It's almost like machine learning. So as you grow with your virtual assistant, they learn to understand your business. There is a reactive virtual assistant, which is what we try our hardest to avoid placing with clients. A reactive virtual assistant, on the other hand, responds to direct commands or queries from the user. They wait for explicit instructions before doing anything. Essentially, someone who waits to be told what to do. They require a direct response to respond. I mean, in order to respond to commands such as answering a query about the weather or executing a specific task, like setting a reminder, you have to ask them to do that. And I think for the most part, everybody would rather have a proactive agent, someone who's intuitive and helpful, versus a reactive agent. So at 263, we really streamline and go through a really very kind of strenuous process to vet our candidates before we place them with clients.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Zin. And okay, so I understand you guys were talking about verticals. Which verticals do our VAs work in?
Absolutely. So there's many verticals, obviously, to include accounting. We talked a little bit about that, the bookkeeping verticals. We also have SaaS owners. A lot of SaaS owners have reached out where they are new business startups as well. Answer, some of the things when we're looking at VAs for medical offices where they're able to do some of the billing, possibly answering phones, setting appointments, doing some of the back end e-filing or paperwork on the back end. That's all electronic nowadays. So, we're not filing in a filing cabinet like we used to. We're actually e-filing. And so there's a lot of work that the VAs can do, especially when we're looking at medical offices and things like that, that they can do on that background. So there are various verticals. I'll give you an example of one that you wouldn't even think of. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a gentleman that I had reached out to that owned a warehouse distribution center. And he said, I don't need a virtual assistant. He said, the only thing I need is, somebody has to answer the phones You know, all the time I'm having to answer the phones, and then I have to stop in the middle of my day if it's a customer service issue or whatever. He says, and it's difficult to get that, you know, done and then getting back to your regular workday. I said, well, we could actually, you know, get someone that could answer your phones for you or schedule appointments and do things like that. And he said, well, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. So we tried it, and within the first couple of weeks, he had mentioned, you know, or the VA who was proactive had mentioned to him, hey, you know what, you're getting a lot of phone calls for orders as well, and then I have to transfer it to one of you guys to process the order. If you want to show me how to use the system, I can process the order as well, so that I don't even have to pass this call off to you. And so that proactive VA put themselves in a position to where they're growing their worth. They're saying, you know what, let me do more. Let me take on a little bit more. I can assist with this. And that's one of the great things about having that proactive VA in those verticals. Any vertical, you can use those VAs in.
Uh, Thank you for that, Kelly. You know, the beauty of most of our agents is that they work on their toes. You say one thing, they see a problem in another space, they will talk about it. So I understand that there are levels to the VAs that we have. And also, what does each level entail?
Sure, absolutely. There are 3 levels that we use of VAs. So we have an introductory level or beginning level where those individuals might answer phone calls. They might do e-filing, like I talked about, setting appointments, rescheduling appointments, or possibly some small outbound dialing, you know, lead generation, that type of thing in your first level. In your second level, which we could consider like a mid-tier level, you get all of what you have in that beginning level, plus you get someone that has maybe medium proficiency in Microsoft Suite. They can do Excel, Word, PowerPoint, but at a medium proficiency level. They might set up meetings for you and run a little bit of your calendar for you in that medium level. And then if you move on to the third level, which is the advanced level, they do all of what 1 and 2 do, plus they do social media management, content management, email management. They have a lot of different things that they can do. Zen, tell me what some of our VAs are doing today.
I think a good way to round it up is a lot of our we like to place our VAs based on the experience they have, like Kelly was highlighting. And from my experience, it's typically a client asking us for specifics as to, for example, administrative support. Can they handle email, schedule appointments, manage calendars, and organize files? For customer service, it's responding to inquiries, processing orders, providing support. Knowing each and every industry means you have to go for it and find that candidate or that position. And take marketing and social media management, for example. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I think every single client requires some sort of digital online presence and support in that aspect. Everybody isn't a Gen Z or a millennial. A lot of the people who use virtual assistants don't have experience in those spaces. So be it e-commerce, real estate, finance and accounting, research and data entry, even personal assistance. I think one that we don't talk about much is lifestyle management. Scheduling your day, your vacations, scheduling your day-to-days. Sorry, a big one is Instacart, you know, shopping. I, for one, since COVID, haven't been to a grocery store in a while. I use Instacart, and that is my personal assistant. But what happens when you are juggling multiple businesses and you need someone to do the Instacarting for you? We have all of that available, which is part of the lifestyle management, personal assistance. I think that was a lengthy response. I'm sorry about that. I can remember.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much, Zane and Kelly. Well answered. So, how much does it cost to actually get a VA?
This the question everybody always asks. The cost of hiring a VA can vary depending on several. It varies depending on several factors. Basically, the skill, which Kelly highlighted, their education, their experience. Location isn't a big deal because we are remote, but our VAs range anywhere from 1,500 being on the tier 1 all the way up to $2,200 on a monthly basis. We do per hour costing, and we also do part-time costing. So it becomes almost customizable to the client as to what they need. Everyone doesn't need a 24/7 VA.
Okay. Since there are stages to the type of VA that I can hire and how much one would cost, how do you determine the best fit for my organization?
Can you want to take a stab at this one? Okay, I'll go for it. In order to pick the best pick for your organization, we go through what we call a 5-step process. That 5-step process entails identifying the candidate, handling a discovery with the client, which is knowing your customer, understanding their core business, seeing where they have pain points, seeing how we can solve those issues for them and allow them to grow in that space. A lot of the people who are looking for candidates are trying to find a fit, a culture fit, which I think is fair. Everyone wants to work with somebody they like. So at 263 Hub, what we do for you is deep dive into your business. And through that process, we give you a process where you actually select your candidate. We select candidates for you, but you interview them. So you can have 5 to 10 VAs that you can pick from. If you prefer a female candidate, a male candidate, a younger, an older, it's up to you. We have a wide variety of skilled practitioners and people in Zim who can definitely help with these initiatives.
Thank you, Zin. My last question for today for you is, what hours do our VAs work?
All right, virtual assistants typically work flexible hours based on the needs of their clients. Many VAs offer part-time or full-time availability, and some may even provide 24/7 support, depending on client requirements. Since VAs work remotely, they can accommodate different time zones and schedules, making them suitable for businesses with diverse operational needs. Whether it's during regular business hours or outside our traditional times, VAs strive to provide timely and efficient support to ensure their clients' needs met correctly. I'll give an example. For American clients per se, Zimbabwe is 7 hours ahead. So if you give your VA a task, they not only work with you, but when you go to sleep, it is typically the next day for them. So while you're sleeping, we're working. If you have tasks that need to be completed by the time you wake up, those tasks are completed. We're in the future, actually. I mean, everyone wants to step into the future, enter the digital revolution. Zimbabwe is literally 8 hours ahead of the world. So we're already in the future. It's only upon you to reach forward and grab your VA from Zimbabwe to help match your business needs.
Okay, and the last question I have for you is, where do our VAs work from?
Ooh, I will be actually. I'll throw that right back to you, Sam. Where are you located right now?
Yes, so our VAs work from our high-rise business center in Harare, Zimbabwe, where we've got a 600-seater. So they'll be working from the office, working in your time zone, but they're in safe space. Thanks for
And
that,
I think a great one as well. I'm looking at some of the people on this webinar. We have one of our VAs who works for a client in Arizona right now, which is American time is regular EST. They're 3 hours behind me. So that candidate might be in the office until midnight per se. We have candidates work in the United Kingdom, clients in the United Kingdom. We have one client who's in Australia. That is an interesting time zone. I don't even want to step into that, but for the most part, we have people who are flexible. Remember, Zimbabwe has a lot of how do I put this? Zimbabwe has a lot of eager, determined, and opportunistic youth who are looking for opportunity. So time zones aren't a factor. If it's a 9 to 5, 3 to 4, whatever time frame it is, our people will show up and show out at that.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for that, Zain and Kelly. I think you answered my questions very well. And I think that brings me to the end of my questions. And I'm going to open the floor to anyone else who wants to ask a question.
Did we have any questions in the chat by any chance?
No. No questions. Guys, feel free, raise your hand, ask any question,
So I
or
see
you can
one
type
question.
it in the chat box.
I see a question in the chat box. It says, Zota Pi said, how do you meet data protection needs since you're working outside the USA and Europe? Great question, Zoe. So one thing 263 Hub does, one of our Chief Growth Officer, Kelly Barabbas, she has over 30 years experience in the call center space, working in Jamaica, Italy, Argentina, UK, USA. For data protection, we do follow GDPR, which is the data protection protocol for the United Kingdom and Europe. Using GDPR, the USA has a similar framework, but here we are PCI compliant, which is the payment card industry, and then we're also ISO certified. So for data protection, we do understand that that is the most paramount part of our business because we're carrying information for our clients. We are the back door, back end for most of the verticals that we work in. Client protection, data protection, cybersecurity are our number one asset. And I think maybe to further elaborate, we are partnered with Lande Mutande, who are Zimbabwe's second or third largest IT internet provider. Through their framework and infrastructure, we are supported and we do have the capabilities to handle what could be a Fortune 500 company. We have the capability and infrastructure to protect and be accountable for any data breaches or data losses that do occur. We're based in the United States, so I hate to say it, if you want to sue us, you can sue us legally, transparently. And so because of that, we really want to be above the board and do the best we can to make sure our clients are happy.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for that, Zian. So we have another question. How long does it take to get a VA on board?
Okay, this one is a good one. So that 5-step process I was explaining goes from your discovery with the client. So I feel like as much as it takes 5 days, so 5 business days, if you reach out to us on Monday, by Friday, you can have a VA in situation. However, the not complexity, but it's a process which requires you to tell us what you need. And in order to find the perfect candidate, it isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Sometimes it can take 2 weeks. I'll give you a great example. A week ago, we had a client looking for a medical practitioner who spoke Spanish. Now, being Zimbabwe, we didn't initially compensate for, bilingual speakers, but thankfully our country does have Spanish speakers, it does have French speakers, and it has Portuguese speakers at that. So we are a multilingual country. To answer your question, just to get back to it, we really go through that strenuous process, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but the longer time it takes, the better we do in finding you the perfect candidate or client. If you go to our website, 263hub.com, our 5-step process is explained very simply to you, all the way from your first email reaching out to us finding you candidates, you interviewing that candidate, and that candidate being trained and put into position.
Okay, well answered, Zian. Thank you. So who trains our VAs? A question.
Right. So training is a bigger, broader spectrum, in the sense that when we train, it is for more than just the virtual assistants. We're training our agents on modern software technology. So if you're in the healthcare space or if you're in the automotive space, we have softwares that work well in those spaces. We do have trainers in our facility and situation. 2 of them specifically who are senior tenured trainers who've had experience in the United States, United Kingdom, global experience essentially, so that we can give off a global experience ourselves. We do have a virtual assistant university, 263U, which we launched, I think, about a month ago. 263 University has a certified virtual assistant program where literally in just 6 hours of classes and courses, you can be a certified virtual assistant who will then, I think as Kelly highlighted, you then get that experience in administrative support, handling emails, scheduling appointments, and learning how to be proactive. We don't want to send out anybody. 263 Hub doesn't just hand out people, with internet. We hand out polished, trained virtual assistants who have capability, the education level, and the professional proficiency to be competent enough to handle another person's business and life.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Zian. The next question is, do you provide any other services than VAs?
Oh, the services. I think we do, and not even I think, we chose the virtual assistant space because there's a huge demand for it. As the world is going into this recessive mode, I'm not going to call it a recession, but it's taking a back step. People are looking for affordable ways to streamline their processes and their businesses. So we chose virtual assistants. The Business 263 Hub initially started as a call center, which was supposed to be customer service, CX, solutions, working with artificial intelligence in order to pair humans with AI to provide a much more streamlined process for businesses. Through that, we transitioned to accounting. We have an accounting vertical, a marketing vertical. We have a software and IT vertical, which is, honestly, thank you for asking, a very interesting space for us, because as we're growing, we are identifying software and technology in the artificial intelligence space that's going to help us become a much more leaner company, more agile. And realistically, I shouldn't say this, but we're training up a group of solution architects who are going to revolutionize the world, essentially, and how the world looks at Africa. Almost the way you look at Ernst & Young and Deloitte, you know that they are the accounting and auditing chiefs in the industry. 263 Hub intends to be that captain leader of industry in the artificial intelligence space and business process. But if you guys, once again, go to our website, check out our website, go to 263 Hub on LinkedIn, look at us. We have so many, not verticals, but qualified candidates that could fit into the vertical you're looking for.
All right, thank you for that, Zin. And the last question is Zimbabwe connectivity guaranteed? I need to be able to reach my VA all the time.
Yes. So I'm actually going to do you one better. Zimbabwe's connectivity, like I said, so we are partnered with Dandi Mtande, the IT internet provider in the entire country. We are connected, okay? The building that we're in is called Joina City, Joina City, based in Zimbabwe, Harare. It's in the center, and it is infrastructurally sound in the sense that we have solar, we have generators, we have never, actually, let me not say never, if we have a power cut, there is a supply system ready to generate and help. In terms of internet, we have almost 99% connectivity. Our internet speeds are phenomenal. And I think this question leads into the next one, Sam. You know, why Zimbabwe, right?
Yes.
Everyone wants, why are you going to Zimbabwe to do this? Why not India? Why not the Philippines? I think those are phenomenal destinations. And I think people who have gone there in the past have gotten what they wanted. What we are offering is a unique experience. It is with an African partner. However, most people are unaware that the cost of living in Zimbabwe is lower than many Western countries, which translates into more competitive rates for clients and customers. The cost advantage can be significant for startups, small businesses, or individuals looking to optimize their budget without compromising the quality of the assistance they get. I could ask, honestly, I could ask everyone on this audio to unmute and speak, and you'll learn that people in Zimbabwe speak a phenomenally fluent King's English. From people who are helping you at a restaurant to people who are captains of industry. We are a very versatile country in terms of language. We are extremely intelligent people, and we are translating that. We're moving our proficiency onto the internet, and we're going to be digitally present and globally competitive. The workforce is educated. Sam, you're from Zim. Tell me a little bit about the workforce over there. What do you think about the young people who are entering the workforce?
Okay, so I'm actually in our 263 Hub offices in Harare, Zimbabwe, and most people in Zimbabwe are very educated. You know, most of our agents have got a minimum of a bachelor's degree, and the ones that we outsource have got 2 years experience or more. So you will get a candidate that will assimilate themselves into your work processes, what do you need and when you want it. So that's all I can say about our agents for now. But yes, so I have to wrap this up. It has been great. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a lovely webinar. Thank you to everyone who helped me. Thank you, Zen. Thank you, Kelly. I really enjoyed this. Any last words, Zen?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. You were a great host, great job. Kelly, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And I just want to wrap it up by just saying, by hiring a VA, a virtual assistant from a country like Zimbabwe, your business not only gains access to quality services at a competitive rate, but you're also contributing to job creation and economic growth in these regions in the world. This aspect of social responsibility can align with the corporate social responsibility goals for yours and if not many businesses. Thanks for having us. And please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn to myself, Samantha, Kelly, any of us. We're always available and active and always happy to help and hear where you think we can help you streamline your business.
Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the
Kelly,
rest of your Wednesday. Any last words, Kelly?
I apologize, everyone. My Wi-Fi went out in this day and age. So thank you, Zen and Sam, for continuing on without me. I know that you did wonderfully, but if there are any other questions, I'm here to answer those. We have any more, Sam?
Let's see. Any last questions for Kelly? Okay, I think maybe you should tell us about your experience in the BPO and KPO space.
Oh, sure. I have been in the space for about 30 years, doing a lot of call center startups, acquisitions, worked for companies as small as 80 seats in the BPO industry up to 10,000 seats in the BPO industry. So I've had quite a fun career, lived all over the United States and done call center startups in India, Argentina, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Mexico, as well as Canada and several in the USA. So I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of wonderful people in the space, in the BPO space.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.